It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go. Monday show, August 21st, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you're watching live. However you are watching or listening to Woodward Sports, we absolutely appreciate it. Braylon is out playing golf. It is the Jalen Rose Celebrity Golf Tournament today. So Braylon is playing golf.
When's golf season over?
It's over pretty soon. So Jalen Rose had his outing today. Kirk Gibson had his outing today as well for Parkinson's disease.
Gibby.
Next week, Mark Wahlberg is going to be in town on Monday. I believe we are actually broadcasting from the Feldman outing, which is with...
Is that at Detroit Country Club?
It's at Detroit Golf Club. With Mark Wahlberg. So Braylon out today. Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you.
What up, my brother?
You, baby.
Hey, everybody. I missed the Lions game on Saturday.
What'd you do, Maz?
Well, I was with Maddie all day at her volleyball tournament in Mount Morris. So we left the house at 6:30 a.m. We got home at 6:30 p.m. That's right, 12 hours of volleyball and driving past Flint, Michigan for me on Saturday. But I had it covered because I taped the game. I looked on my little Xfinity app, and I went, oh, there it is, Lions. Oh, nationally televised on NFL Network. I'm taping it. I get home that night, go to the Greek Fest at Assumption Church, get some great Greek food, go home, put on the Lion game. Atlanta and the Bengals are on.
Tough.
I guess it got blacked out on the NFL Network here in Detroit. And me, not knowingly, I guess I should have taped Fox instead, because I guess the game was on Fox as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, Fox 2 has the preseason.
I know. I just didn't think.
He's not thinking like
I saw the first thing. I saw NFL Network, because that's channel 181. Fox is, I think, 232 or something like
234.
that. 234. So I just hit 181, tape it, and it was blacked out. So I got screwed.
JB and Parker are with us as well. JB, how you doing, young man?
I'm doing good. Tried to stay far away from Woodward as I could because of the Dream Cruise, even though it was going on. I just couldn't get caught in all this traffic.
Seriously, last week we were out of the office Thursday and Friday. Actually, Friday we had to come back in. You weren't here because of the internet issues at the DMAC golf outing. So many golf outings lately. But it was a real treat to kind of stay away from Woodward if you weren't into the car situation. So back to normal today. The roads are free-flowing, as they say. Parker, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you as well.
Excuse me. How you doing today, big guy?
Doing good. A little tired today, but, going in at it with a smile on my face.
Tired? What do you mean tired?
You're a kid.
Well, you guys are kids, man. Come on. Well, actually, JB's a grown man.
Yeah, JB's a
grown man.
Looks like a kid, though.
I know. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Parker just got out of college. When did you graduate college? How many months ago?
I graduated May 28th.
God, that's so awesome. Are you happy? I just have to say, this is like move into school kind of situation now.
So everybody went back to school, like, yesterday. And so I'm seeing on my Snapchat story, like, am I supposed to be somewhere?
Oh, my God.
Like, am I supposed to be doing something right now? I'm like, oh, no, I'm done.
We were talking about back to school today a little bit on Fox 2 in the morning show, and I could not imagine, like, people are like, well, wouldn't you like to go back to college? Wouldn't you like? And the answer is no. I don't think I could survive the party. That's one. And two, I could not do all that school. Like, I have no idea how I made it, actually, through the classwork of school. As an economics major, I don't think I ever learned one thing. All those 4 years of college, I learned how to manage my time. I learned how to live on my own. I learned all that stuff. But actually, what I've taken from school and just applied in life,
Minimal.
I have no idea. I don't think anything.
We moved Abby back yesterday. I should say my wife, Kathy, God bless her, and Lily drove Abby to Grand Valley yesterday. Left her behind in her new sorority, DZ. Hello, girls. Came home, and then Lily was supposed to go back today. We bought an extra day, so she goes back to Michigan State tomorrow. God bless Kathy again. She's going to make that run. Maddie starts high school tomorrow. So Lily comes home. She's got this. She's trying to get into this sports marketing. It's more than a class. It's like her minor. So she comes home with this question. And I'm looking at the question, and it reminded me how much I hated school. Mm-hmm. And I loved all the other stuff in school. Loved the friends and all the fun and all of that. Didn't like anything about going to class. I was just not a, I'm not going to say I'm not a bad student. I was an A and a B student. But I just hated it. I was terrible at tests. I just can't stand studying. I don't know. Call me a lazy bum, whatever it is. But
lazy bum.
I'm a lazy bum. So I'm looking at this question, and I'm like, let's send it to Ryan. Ryan is smarter than me. So we sent it to you, and you write me back, and you're like, I forgot exactly what you wrote, but you're like, go ahead, look up what you wrote to me. And it is exactly how I feel. It's just the words, the way these questions are laid out. And
I said, oh man, what the hell is that for? That is so effing hard, LOL.
It's too scholarly. So you helped out Lil a little bit. Put the question out there for everybody.
So this is the question.
Listen to this, gang.
This was the question for Lily's Michigan State sports business class.
Marketing. Yeah,
Marketing.
To get in to make this her minor.
Okay. Describe a problem arising in a sports business context that you envision addressing in your future career. What skills are you currently developing that you will apply to in this situation? Explain how you will address this problem.
So it's a 3-part question.
Well, I don't forget.
So Ryan came up with, right on, gambling in sports by the players. So I'm like, that's it.
That's a sports business problem.
It is.
I guess. I mean,
it is.
First thing that came to mind.
But then for her to describe what she's going to do to help it was a whole new thing. And we were up till 1:30 in the morning last night finalizing her answers.
What was her
Don't ask me.
Don't ask you.
Don't ask
JB, me. What do you like? I mean, the first thing that I thought of was sports business problem would be gambling in sports. And then I told her you could probably hone it in a little bit more, even just talk about the collegiate aspect of it in young people. You know, after that Iowa and Iowa State news broke a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. It just makes my head hurt.
It does. It makes my head hurt. So it took us to 1:30 last night to finally just say, all right, just send that in. Send those answers in. And, you know, God bless, Lil. I hope you get in and go to the sky with it.
Amen to that.
Thanks
hey, Maz, talk to me before we move on here. I do want to ask you about the bowling situation. You were part of the Kirk Gibson strikeout Parkinson's bowling outing yesterday at Bolero in Royal Oak.
First time.
How'd you throw them?
I threw well. It was very hot.
What do you mean very hot?
It was if it's 90 out. Like yesterday felt like 100. It felt like 100. So in a bowling alley.
Oh yeah, it was terrible yesterday.
Yes, it sucks today too.
It was terrible.
Yesterday was just stifling, and it's going to be 100 degrees I think on Thursday. Didn't Derek Kever say 97 degrees?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
He did 97 degrees on Thursday. Okay, and I know we've had a pretty mild summer. I'm not bitching, but a bowling alley really gets hot. Bowlers will know that. I guess that's why you play golf or out in the outdoors at least. But in bowling, yeah, there's some air conditioning. But when you get a lot of people in there, and it just gets stifling. So I'm on the Drew Lane team, the Drew and Mike podcast team. It was me, Drew. It was me, Drew, Joe Graham from Legacy Partners, and we had Luke as well on there. So we had a bunch of other people join in as well. A lot of fun. So people paid. They gave their donations to bowl with Gibby and Dave Rosema. And both of those guys, great. Well, Rosie's a great bowler. Gibby, phenomenal bowler. Believe it or not, this guy can still bring it. And Drew's there with his bad hip, and took his Motrin 800 and got a shot in his hip early last week. So he's there, first time bowling in probably 20 years. And we're all having a great time. And I shot a 226 and a 240 against these other guys.
It's incredible.
Now, Gibby and Rosie are next to us, and they're looking at us, and they're like, we might have our hands full, because they challenged Drew and I to a bowling match. So, of course, I was bragging, I'll beat you guys, blah, blah, blah. So those guys now move over to our lanes. And by that time, I'm completely drenched. I'm soaked. I can hardly hold the ball. And I throw a 150 game, and they're laughing. Rosie and Gibby are laughing. They threw a 170 game. So by that time, everyone was just tired, ready to go home. Next game, I think I shot a 148 as well.
Oh
they
my
shoot
gosh.
another 170 game, and they beat us, and they're going to bust my balls now. But in reality, Drew and I are like, what about the other games we shot? Oh, those don't count. Those don't count. But we had a great time, and you should have seen the auction. They had signed jerseys.
Uh-huh.
So Shohei Ohtani's jersey comes
Really?
up, and it's signed by Shohei. Gorgeous.
Wow.
Home white uniform.
Really?
Angels.
I would have liked to have seen the auction item.
The auction was great, man. And the auctioneer was great. It was one of those guys, hey, let me hit $1,000,
Yeah.
$1,500, a real pro. The thing gets up to $4,000.
Wow.
4,500. Drew's raising his hand still. Another guy goes up to 4,800. Finally, Drew's like, I think I'm going to call it quits because I want to get the next two jerseys was the Goose Gossage and the Kirk Gibson.
Oh,
and
wow.
and Goose was there last night. They had a great panel for the 84 World Series. And, you know, Goose gave up the home run. It was a great story. You guys all know that, to Gibby. So those two jerseys, Drew's like, all right, I'm going to settle in on those. They went for $5,000.
Get out of
Yeah,
here.
and Drew got them for $5,000.
He did. Got them both.
He got them both for $5,000, but he wanted that Shohei as well. And then he also bid on the silent auction. He got a Verlander Mets jersey signed by Verlander. So I'm like, hey, you got two Hall of Famers, and I think Gibby one day will be voted in by the Veterans Committee to go to the Hall of Fame. If you ask me,
Wow.
I think Gibby belongs.
I don't know if that's. I don't know if that'll be the case.
Well,
I would have gotten.
Look at Jack Morris.
If you're going to spend. Well, Jack Morris is the most dominant pitcher of an entire decade.
I understand that, but you know he was a big game pitcher. That's why he got in.
Right.
His ERA was high. There's a bunch of things against him. Plus, he was a jackass. Kirk Gibson, he's a hero. 2 World Series he won. 2 World Series.
Well,
2
I'm
of the greatest players in baseball history. Kirk Gibson.
I mean, I love Kirk Gibson. I don't know about Hall of Fame.
Fine.
Either way, but I'm not gonna.
Whatever.
Neither here nor there. But if you're Drew Lane and you're shelling out $5,000, I'm buying that Shohei jersey
I
because
would've
that's
went
the
with
He
that
was
one
pissed.
that's gonna.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the one that's gonna
I
net you
know.
a couple of bucks maybe
I
later
know.
on in life.
I know. So today they got the golf outing, like you said.
that's right.
But it's what a great thing, guys. If you're going to give to Gibby's Parkinson Fund, Strikeout Parkinson was last night. Today, golfing for Parkinson's. Just go to the Kirk Gibson Foundation and donate if you can. It's a great cause for a great man that is building a phenomenal building for Parkinson people. You know, there's 38,000 people here in Michigan that suffer from Parkinson. That fills Comerica Park. That's how they described it.
Yep.
Think of that.
It's incredible.
Incredible.
It is, absolutely. Great organization there. Great person, Kirk Gibson. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Lions lose to the Jags. Preseason game number 2.
I didn't miss much, huh?
You did not. We'll talk about our thoughts. And Dave Burkett has a 53-man roster projection with some pretty eye-opening things
Yes.
on there, I think. I
You're
want to
not
discuss those as well. Jim Harbaugh news today. The man who broke it will join us. Top of hour number 2. Josh Henschke will join us coming up top of hour number 2. Braylon out today. We'll talk to Matt Broder as well coming up in just a little bit. But first, a message from Mark White.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty at all? That is exactly what Mark White and Associates offers. It's called the minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. That number again, 290-8242. MarkWhitecells.com, where flexibility meets success.
For Detroit's by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Experience the true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with Dispo Dispensary. Indulge in the finest selection of cannabis curated with care. With over 12 locations, including the new location that is now open in Whitmore Lake, Dispo is never far away. And don't forget, this Friday, August 25th, all 4 shows will be broadcasting live from their Romeo location. And also, Dispo location will be having a end of summer bash on Friday, September 1st, all day long. There will be vendors, food trucks, music, killer deals, and epic giveaways. Only at Dispo Dispensaries, your local cannabis plug.
Subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube right now, hit that like button for us. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon out today playing in the Jalen Rose Celebrity Golf outing. Tom Mazaway is with us. JB and Parker here as well. Lions lose to the Jags 25-7. There really was not much to look at in this game. And it is what it is. One of the great things about this game, to me, nobody suffered an injury.
Yeah.
And honestly, as far as preseason games go, that's all I really want. Come out clean, and that is a W for me. And again, nothing catastrophic. I'm sure there were some nicks and dings and things like that, but nothing major to any of the guys.
I heard the O-line wasn't very good.
Well, that's one of the things, too. The O-line was not very good. You know, when you look at this Dave Burkett projection that he put out today in his 53-man roster, you know, he's got a couple of times now that the Lions keeping 9 offensive linemen. You know, 6 of those guys did not play.
Okay.
6 of the 9 did not play.
Okay.
So is it the biggest thing in the world? Look, you're not going to go through an entire NFL season and have an offensive lineman not get dinged up. Have an offensive lineman that's going to not be out for 1 or more games this season. It's just unrealistic to assume that. But I think one of the disappointing parts about the O-line play, Maz, is that you do have 11 guys, pretty much, 11 guys vying for 2 spots.
Yeah.
And for not one of those players to kind of separate themselves from the pack a little bit when you're kind of trying to guess which 2 of the 11 that are going to make this team,
Then maybe that opens up a position somewhere else.
it's not where you want to be is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I get it. And I know Dan Campbell after the game kind of said, look, it looks like we need some depth at offensive line, and it looks like we need some depth at, guess what? Wide receiver. So we're going to find out what they do. They're not going to be done. There's going to be a lot of guys on the wire coming up next Tuesday everyone's got to get down to 53 men, or at least the Lions and Chiefs do. I don't know. I'm not sure if the rest of the league has to get down exactly by that day as well. There's going to be a lot of players out there for you to choose from.
Well, and that's kind of what you're looking at too. So Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, Vaitai, Penei Sewell, Graham Glasgow, and Colby Sorsdale is not going anywhere either.
No.
So there's 7 guys right there. 7 of the 9 are locked in to roster spots. So again, you're looking at 2 spots and 11 guys fighting for that job. Which 2 want it?
They got another week to do.
They do. Coyote Owaski and Matt Nelson were the 2 players that Dave Burkett believes will grab those 2 final spots. But, time will tell. It looked terrible. Teddy Bridgewater obviously was a big focus of this game. So many people obviously happy that, Teddy Bridgewater signed a deal to be the Lions' backup quarterback. I consider Teddy Bridgewater the best backup quarterback in the NFL. There really isn't, you can talk to me about Tyrod Taylor or Gardner Minshew or anybody you want. If you are telling me that I could pick any backup quarterback in the league, including Jameis Winston, to go win a month's worth of games for me, I'm still picking Teddy Bridgewater. He looked terrible on Saturday, and
He hasn't played in a while.
no need to freak out.
Right.
I mean, talking about having to knock the rust off, talking about a guy that had 3 practice days, and I mean, he was getting tackled as he was handing the ball off. Guys literally tackling him as he's turning around to hand up, not on a pass. Okay.
And he's wearing number 50.
Yeah,
right
he's
now.
not. You know why he's
like
wearing
Sid
number?
Luckman.
You know why he's wearing number 50?
I read something about a show he watches.
Yeah, he's a big fan of BMF.
I don't even know what that is.
Black Mafia family. I think. Anybody know anything about that?
I believe you're right.
Yeah.
The Black Mafia family on Stars.
Stars. That's
Yes.
what it is.
So what's the 50 represent?
50 Cent is the
Okay.
producer.
Okay, I got
Producer
you.
of the show. So. Yeah, so he's wearing number.
I think the last quarterback that wore a number that high was like Sid Luckman. I think he wore 45. with the
I don't
Bears.
know anything about that. I've heard of the name.
Otto
but neither
Graham,
way-
I think, wore like 70-something.
Yeah, I'm
Or
not
60-something.
I'm not freaking out about Teddy Bridgewater at all. If you watch that game and you were like freaking out about Teddy Bridgewater, that's neither here nor there. But one of the things about that is Burkett also has the Lions keeping 3 quarterbacks, which I found interesting.
I think you
because
have to.
most teams, I don't think, keep that emergency 3rd quarterback anymore.
Well, who was the one that brought up the
It
thing?
was the Detroit
It was the Lions who
Lions.
brought up that rule, and it got passed in the NFL owners' meetings. That was what hurt them. That's what hurt a lot of teams last year. Look at the Niners last year in the playoffs against the Eagles. Christian McCaffrey almost had to play quarterback because of the lack of the 3rd quarterback on the roster. Lions brought it up, and that's why they're going to keep 3 quarterbacks. And, of course, your rookie, Hendon Hooker, is going to be on the injured list.
That's right. Now, to me, another part of this game which I was really disappointed in was the wide receiver group. And that is, offensively, it's hard to imagine that the Lions are in a little bit of wide receiver purgatory right now. You've got Jamison Williams hurt and suspended. You've got Denzel Mims cut.
Right.
Nobody's playing in the preseason, and now
You got undrafted rookies vying for positions.
Well,
and Dylan Drummond.
That's right. This was the most intriguing part of this 53-man roster situation that I found. So Burkett has the Lions keeping 5 wide receivers, not 6, which is very important to consider. I want to read what he wrote for you here. He says, I had 6 receivers on my first roster prediction last week, but the reality is none of the Lions' backups has done enough for another team to claim them off waivers. Drummond has had the most consistent training camp. Coda has played the best in the preseason games, and Green is a 2023 7th-round pick. Alexander has returnability. I'm sticking with Drummond as the number 5 now for a flip of the coin with Coda because of how the Lions have used him as a blocker, but I fully expect the Lions to pursue upgrades for the unit between now and the NFL's trade deadline. I was actually pretty disappointed in Dylan Drummond in the game. And I know he's having a
He had a great camp.
He's having a good camp, a great camp, however you want to characterize it. But to me, when you get in that big building with that second deck, with those big lights in those big moments, I do think you have to make plays. He dropped a pass that was right in his hands. It would have been a tough play, a contested play, but these are plays that you have to make when you are an undrafted rookie that's trying to make a football team in the NFL and make an impact too. I thought there were initially 2 spots. If the Lions don't keep a 6th wide receiver, if they only keep 5, I don't know which one you go. Coda has played well in the games. Drummond has played well in practice. I'm not really certain how that is going to shake out, but it is a concern for the Detroit Lions. It is absolutely a concern for the Detroit Lions, this wide receiver position, to me.
I like Maurice Alexander. Yeah, I know he took one to the house in the first game. I like what he brings to the table. Special teams whiz. I believe that he's going to make this team. I do. I don't know. I kind of disagree with Dave here. I think they're going to keep more than 5 receivers. Now, it might not be Dylan Drummond or Coda. But I think Maurice Alexander is going to make this team. And like he also wrote, they're going to look around and see who else is out there. We already told you there's a couple of veterans still out there looking to play ball still. You have Julio
Landry,
Jones
yep.
and Juice Landry. Just 2 guys that are out there. And who knows? Someone's going to knock on their door, I think. Plus, there's going to be a lot of other guys that are going to be let go. So we'll see how the next week and a half goes, because next Tuesday they get to get down to 53 men. After that, you know it. It's a free-for-all. We'll see who they sign and who else people pick. The running backs are what is getting me a little upset, to be honest with you. The running backs, because I don't see – I'm going to let you – I don't want to jump ahead, right? Do you want to do the running backs next?
Yeah, I wanted to Parker wants to weigh in, I think, on the wide receivers real quick, and then I want to –
So Corey Davis is a name that's being rumored to be potentially waived by the deadline. That's a guy I'm looking at. I mean, we posted that on our Instagram recently, Instagram and Twitter, about what's the potential with us getting Corey Davis. And also, I can't tell you enough how I went to the game on Saturday. I officially do not like Jags fans. I had a dude behind me during the game yelling Duval. Officially, I can't do it anymore. It's this guy looked like a Florida man, dressed like a Florida man. Dude, I just can't stand him anymore. His name is officially Duval Larry. Duval Larry, if you're watching this, it was annoying, man.
Duval.
It was too much, bro.
Now you've made me mad. Now you've pissed us off.
Yeah, Duval Larry is not. Duval Larry is not the guy.
All right, no Duval Larry. Duval Larry, you're out.
Yeah.
Matt, I think you bring up a good point about the running backs. I do want to ask you, though, is the wide receiver position for the Lions the most concerning right now? Is that the position that concerns you the most, or is it the running backs? We'll talk to our guy, Matt Broder, about that, too, next. But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Yes, because summertime is a great time to join Planet Fitness and beat low E. Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I do mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym with tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. Your fitness is essential and a key part of your physical and mental well-being. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by with more than 50 convenient locations around the Metro Detroit area and thousands more throughout the world. For more information or to join, visit your local Planet Fitness or check them out online at planetfitness.com.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White and Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Woodward Sports Network on a Monday. How's everybody doing out there? Ryan, Ermanni, Matt, Broder in now the hot seat. Braylon Edwards playing golf in the Jalen Rose Invitational today. Maz is with us as well. JB and Parker here. Broder, how are you? Thanks, my man. How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great, Ryan. Maz, Parker, JB, how you doing?
Doing good. Just settling in to a little discussion about the Lions roster. The next time the Detroit Lions play a home football game will be September 17th against the Seattle Seahawks. Can you even believe it?
Preseason. My daughter's 21st birthday.
Unbelievable. Season opener. The preseason home games now out of the way. One more on the road at Carolina on Friday night. Just before we get into this, Matt, about specific position battles, just your overall take of preseason game number 2 is what?
It was a whole lot of nothing. Mm-hmm. I mean, we knew going into it, it's going to be one of those games where they're looking for who are those guys on the fringe that are going to step up and try to make the roster or make the practice squad. It was tough watching the offense perform. With the offensive line had a really tough game, and it didn't allow us to see anything out of Teddy Bridgewater. We didn't get to see much out of the running back crew. So it was difficult, but there was still some positives on defense. There were some players who did something, but there's not a whole lot we can take away from this.
James Houston did well.
James Houston did. He was one of my winners, or one of my studs from the day.
And my guy, John Kaminsky, baby.
Of course.
How many times have I told you about John? I hate to say I told you, but I told you about this guy. Each and every game he played last year, he made an impact.
Yes.
And the Detroit Lions did not win one game when he was out of the lineup. 0-5 without John Kaminsky last year. 0-4 without John Kaminsky last year. 9-4 with him.
Really cool.
Significant impact.
He's the type of player that needs to be on a winning team. He's one of those guys that brings the best out of everybody around him. He sets the edge. He's always in the right position, doing the right things, whether he's playing edge or D-tackle or wherever they have him on that defensive line. I loved what we saw out of him on Saturday, and I think that's partly why James Houston played well, because he had someone as stable as Kaminsky doing things like that.
Without question. Now, I asked before the break. To me, wide receiver is the position that I'm concerned with the most heading into the season. You just simply cannot afford an injury to any one of these guys. Amon-Ra, Josh Reynolds, Marvin Jones, and Khalif Raymond is the guy I'm thinking of. Other than that, if one of those guys go down, you're in trouble. Now, whether they keep 5 or 6 guys, whether it's Dylan Drummond or Chase Cota, take your pick. Whoever you want, take your pick, and the other guy can go to the practice squad. That's fine. I think people there'll be people rooting for Drummond. There'll be people rooting for Cota. However you want to do that, it's fine. This team does need to make a trade to bolster that position, to me. Now, is it going to be somebody that's out there right now, Matt? Is it going to be somebody out there that's cut? You just look at the trade deadlines the last couple of years, and you're going to have, J-Mo will be back before the trade deadline. Now, you're only going to have 2 looks at him before the trade deadline, and you're probably going to have to make a determination how hard you want to go at a trade. Kadarius Toney went last year deadline from the Giants to the Chiefs. These are players now. OBJ from Cleveland to the Rams. These are the types of players that are getting traded at the trade deadline. So, do you have to go out there and reach maybe on a Julio Jones now, Maz, that you like? I don't know what he's got left in the tank.
Juice Landry.
Juice Landry. Does he have anything left? If he did have anything left, would a team be on him already? Or do you just have to wait to see if the Rams are 2-7 at the time the trade deadline hits, and maybe you can go make a deal for Cooper Kupp or somebody like that? Maybe the Cleveland Browns suck, and you can go get Amari Cooper or a Donovan Peoples-Jones or something like that. I'm just concerned with this position overall.
Yeah, we didn't really get to see one of those fringe wide receivers step up, and I'm talking Chase Cota, Antoine Green, and Dylan Drummond in this second preseason game. I think they combined for about 5 catches apiece. The tricky thing is those three, they don't, where they're at in their development, they don't really fill a role that we need quite yet. I think Dylan Drummond's had the best camp, but I look at him and take this for what it is. He's more of an Amon-Ra St. Brown type, where you can kind of play him all over that wide receiver position room and get him the ball in different places. I think they wait a couple weeks and see how the season starts to shake out. The free agent market, unless they're sold on a Juice Landry or a Julio Jones, I'm forgetting who there's a third wide receiver is out there. It kind of drops off after that.
Yeah, I don't
not
think
much.
I say that. I don't think you need to panic right now.
I don't think so either.
Right, you don't need a panic move.
No, you got Jahmyr Gibbs.
But again, you don't need to go out and sign a Julio Jones or a Jarvis Landry. You really don't, just to fill a roster spot. I mean, if you go out there to Kansas City and you line up with Amon-Ra, Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, and Marvin Jones, and then you've got Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, and David Montgomery, you feel pretty darn good.
I'm cool with that.
The fact that you can go out there and compete. Where I'm saying is, there's going to be one of those 4 guys that is going to have to miss a game. It's just the facts of the league. It's just a product of the NFL. All 4 of those players are not going to play the first 6 games. I hate to tell you that, but it's probably likely that at least one of those players will have to miss a game for something. Maybe you got a little tweak here, a little tweak there. Oh, dinged up here. Doesn't have to be major, but you can't be giving games away. You know, do you go out there and make a panic signing at that point? Do you go out there and try to make a trade at that point? Whatever. I'm just saying you don't have to make a panic move right now, but it is something that you're dialing in on.
I think we're going to see a heavy dose of Khalif Raymond, maybe more than we normally would. I think he's going to fill that, both the deep threat role that we would see J-Mo fill in, at least having that threat of the deep ball. Khalif Raymond can do that. He's really good against man coverage. I also think they're going to work him around the offense a lot more. So you're right. It's what happens if one of those guys go down. And I think specifically Amon-Ra St. Brown. If he misses a game, and he missed a game last year. I think he had an ankle injury and missed one. What do you do there? Because the offense relies on him.
They lost that game, too.
Yeah, exactly. So in the case that another one of the receivers goes down, I think we're going to see an elevation in Jahmyr Gibbs playing receiver in that game. But I'm with you. I don't think we need to panic. I think maybe that's a reason they keep a 4th running back. While some people do they keep 3 or 4? Maybe they keep that 4th so Gibbs can fill that role if needed.
Good segue to the running back. So Burkett has the Lions keeping 4 running backs, one of which is the fullback, though, Jason Kabinda. So he's got David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Benny Snell, and Jason Kabinda making this team. The number 3 running back job remains up for grabs, and it's possible the Lions hit the waiver wire next week to fortify that room. Jameer Jefferson and Craig Reynolds got the bulk of the work on Saturday after sitting out last week against the Giants with injuries, combined for 29 yards on 14 carries. Is that a product of the running backs, or is that a product of the poor offensive line? Is it fair to assess those guys with 11 guys that will not make this team or will not make any significant impact? I don't know how they feel about it, but as far as making this football team, Jefferson and Reynolds, according to Dave Burkett, unlikely or not going to happen one way or the other. Now, we grow accustomed to these guys. We like these guys. We root for these guys. Craig Reynolds has an incredible story. Jameer Jefferson was really nice in spots last year.
They drafted him a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd like to see him stick. And they love Craig Reynolds. I mean, we all know that. You heard him last year on Hard Knocks. They love him. It's going to be hard to let that kind of guy go. I mean, that's the kind of guy you want on your team. And Jason Kabinda, Matt, you were talking about him. How special is he?
He's one of those. He's a locker room guy.
Yeah.
He's very important on special teams, but his personality and his leadership. I don't believe he's a captain, but he's that type of person. So I just don't think they're going to get rid of him. He's too valuable. The tricky one is Jamar Jefferson and Craig Reynolds.
Man, someone's got to go, and that would suck.
Yeah, I thought Craig Reynolds actually ran hard. He ran really well on Saturday. There wasn't a ton of yardage output. I think it was about 42 yards total. I chalked it up to the offensive line. And for Jamar Jefferson, I think the tricky or the obstacle in his way is Starling Thomas in the special teams room. I thought he had a really good day on Saturday as the kick returner, which Jamar Jefferson may have been his route to a roster
and Maurice
spot.
Alexander as well. But
who didn't play, and people are speculating, is that because he's made the roster and they're pulling him back to see some other guys, or have they made a decision on him?
Right. Hey, what did we say at the beginning of the year? This is the first time a Lions team is going to cut players that are going to go play elsewhere.
You expect that.
So when I say how bad I feel that you can't keep these guys, all it means is you got a good team.
Right. Back in the day, if you got cut by the Lions, your career's over.
Exactly.
Right. Maybe you can come back next year and have another run at it.
Just like a coach. A coach leaves the Lions, they got no chance. Not anymore.
You know, the Lions, acquired Benny Snell last week and or signed him off
from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. However they got him, and he's a special teams player. You know, how many times do you hear a coach or a general manager say, if you're a backup player, you make this team through special teams? And I don't know what Reynolds or Jefferson are doing at the special teams situation, but Benny Snell's a standout player, core special teams player for 4 seasons for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So maybe that's how you get to be the third running back or the fourth running back, just winning those jobs through special teams. There is one player that I'm curious about that has not made the roster, but he's having a really nice camp. I want to talk to you about Julian Okwara. I want to ask you about him next and some of that defensive line depth as well. Coming up top of the hour, we will talk to Josh Henske, who broke the news today. Michigan will self-impose a 3-game suspension on Jim Harbaugh. So we'll talk to Josh about that. More Lions talk next, but first a message from Randy Wise.
All right. How would you like to see famous athletes like Braylon Edwards, Jim Harbaugh, and of course Darren McCarty play golf? Of course you want to watch them, but you want to play just like them. So how could you play golf like a celebrity? Thanks to Randy Wise Automotive and Woodward Sports, you'll be able to do just that. It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Make the wise choice. Get to a Randy Wise dealership as soon as you can and keep it right here on Woodward Sports for more of the details.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win that $100,000 Vegas getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Meijer. Cintron, the healthy energy drink with great taste and the choice of people who desire to look good, feel great, and be the best versions of themselves. That website is drinkcintron.com/Vegas, drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
Ryan Ermanni, Matt Broder in for Braylon today. Tom Mazaway with us as well, working the phones. Absolutely. Good job, Matt. Very good.
The man of the people.
Sometimes I think Matt pays more attention to the chat than he does to us up here.
It's an important role.
It is.
From someone who spends a lot of time in the chats, we love Matt.
Absolutely.
Thanks, bro.
Without question. Shout out to the chat.
Ryan don't care about me.
I do care about you, and I do care about the chat. I just have too much on my mind up here trying to figure out, not to swear or anything like that.
I got you, my man.
Right? I just got to figure
Just
that
call
out.
on me when you need me. I'll put the phone down.
Defensive line, Julian Okwara. This guy has had a really decent camp, really nice camp. Looks like this guy, he's had 3 sacks 2 weeks ago, a sack last week. But Matt is still on the outside looking in when it comes to making this football team, it appears.
I think so. I just don't think he's brought enough consistency to warrant a spot in this new look Lions team. I mean, like we said, there are a lot of good players that are about to get cut. I worry about him, and watching him on Saturday, he didn't play awful, but he did not look good against the run. He had one, it was a would-be sack that was negated by a penalty, so that's good to see, but what else is he doing if he's not rushing the passer? I mean, with the emergence of James Houston as more of a 3-down back, he's not there yet, but he's headed that direction. I don't know. Julian is one of those on the fringe.
Isn't it funny too, Maz, that I think we look around and coming into the year, you look at the defensive backs and the defensive line on this football team, and those were really your concerns. And I think now you look at this.
It's not anymore.
Those outside of your offensive, I mean, that is as stacked as you can get. I mean, there might not be some breakout superstar. I mean, there's not Aaron Donald on this defensive line, but this is as deep a defensive line. I'm very comfortable going into the season with this.
Hell yeah. And I'll tell you,
very comfortable.
Read the guys that Dave Burkett has on this team.
Aiden Hutchinson, John Kaminsky, Josh Paschal, Charles Harris, James Houston, Romeo Okwara, Aleem McNeil, Isaiah Buggs, Levi Onwuzurike, Broderick Martin, and Benito Jones. And Onwuzurike, look, this is a second-round pick from a couple of years ago who got injured. We thought he was never going to play football again. This is a talented guy, and if healthy, Matt, he can really help them on the interior.
Oh, big time. And he's looked like he's back, or at least trending back to where what he looked like before his injury. He's looked explosive the last couple of weeks of camp, and to be able to bring that off the bench, coming in for these guys in the middle, that could be a huge addition for the Lions. And then you look at the emergence of a guy like Benito Jones, who I believe you said Dave picked. He played well on Saturday. I think he only had a sack, but what he's doing to clog that middle, especially while Broderick Martin develops, while some of these other, the big boys in the middle, the defensive tackles continue to develop. Benito Jones is one of those guys that's impressed in camp.
One of the guys that impressed too in the game was Stephen Gilmore.
Oh, yeah.
You might know him as Stephon Gilmore's younger brother, but Stephen Gilmore, I'm not even going to say he got beat on that. Like that was just luck.
Is that as good of a throw as you can make?
Look, it was as good of a throw and as good of a catch. Stephen Gilmore on what was a long pass.
48-yarder.
48-yarder. Yeah. It was a 48-yard completion. He was as dialed in as I think you can be on a 48-yard gain like that. He turned his head. It was a great throw and a great catch. But then he comes back, the same series, gets a pass defense, like bats away a pass defensed, and then comes away with a ricochet interception.
That's the key,
right
Ryan.
place, right time.
100%. That's the key. What do you do that next time out? And you're right. It's hard to say he even misplayed the completion to the 48-yard completion that the Jaguars had, but he didn't let that get him down. He didn't sulk in it. He came back. It was 2 or 3 plays later in the red zone to knock that ball away from the receiver. So that's what you want to see out of these fringe guys. Is he going to make the roster?
Right.
Is he going to make the practice squad? To be determined, but he had one of those performances Saturday that people are talking about.
Now the Lions are off today. There's no media availability today whatsoever. I am curious to see how this is going to play out with Emmanuel Mosley.
Yeah.
Is he going to start the year on PUP? Is he going to be activated? Is he coming along nicely? What's it looking like for him? Because, he's a guy I think they were counting on to start the year in Kansas City. Not sure if that's going to happen or not right now.
Yeah, he's the guy they were counting on for the season to be almost their number one cornerback, if not considering Cam Sutton in that role.
Right.
Emmanuel Mosley's a stud. Before he got hurt in San Francisco, he was trending to be one of the better cornerbacks in the entire league. So we'll see where he ends up. My gut's telling me that he starts on the PUP list. Just seeing all the work that goes into getting ready for opening night. He hasn't been out there, and I think you need some time, especially at the cornerback position, to get your rhythm back, especially after a lower leg injury. So, man, I hope he's back sooner rather than later. Let's hope it's not more than 4 games that he misses. So, I can't wait to see what the defense looks like with him. It's exciting to have him come back, but we just don't know where he's at.
I think this defense is going to be really good. And, if you just look at the sheer numbers last year, they were 29 or 30th out of 32 teams in the National Football League last year. A little bit of a disaster. I think if you looked at the way they played the second half of last year, though, when they got healthier, when they started to grow a little bit, this defense was much better. In their first 7 games of the season, the defense averaged giving up 30 points a game. In the last 10, they averaged giving up 20 points a game, and they got better.
Yes.
And if you can just have that consistency to have a defense give you a chance each and every game you play, the sky is the limit for the Detroit Lions in 2023. Defensive line, they got better. Linebacker, they got better. Defensive backs got better. At all 3 levels of this defense, they are better, much better than they were a year ago. And Matt, I'm telling you, if they can just kind of dial it in, there is no telling how good this team can be. The 2023 Detroit Lions, if that defense can get into that top 15, not even top 10 or top 5, I'm not even talking about that, but if they could just get into a top 15 defense of the NFL, sky's the limit.
There's a player I want to ask you about that I think he's an incredibly important player to this defense that we are still not talking about very often. But what are your thoughts on Jerry Jacobs?
Well, he's definitely, look, I think defensive back right, is one of those positions you can't have enough of.
Right.
It's like money. You can't have enough money. You can't have enough defensive backs. He's a player that could be a star. I think he's that talented. And he's obviously going to start opposite Cam Sutton right now, right? I would think he's definitely
100%
the starter on the other side.
95%.
Whether Mosley comes back or not.
Yeah.
Even if Mosley comes back, even if Mosley is activated, I think Jerry Jacobs.
Does that worry you? Or are you confident with him starting the year as your number 2?
I'm not. I think that's a talented kid.
Yeah.
It's a talented kid who's only going to get better because of who's out there with him. You've got people. You've got Sutton on one side. You've got the 3 safeties that we're not talking enough about. Those 3 safeties in Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, and Tracy Walker.
Yeah.
So that will help him as well. That will help whoever's on that other side.
Tracy Walker had a big game Saturday.
He did.
Really good to see him out there. But you're right, Jerry Jacobs, to me, I'm a huge fan of Jerry Jacobs. I'm a fan of his mentality at the cornerback position, too. Like, you need those guys with a little bit of pizzazz, a little bit of, I think this phrase gets used too often, but that dog in him.
Right.
Like, it almost is reserved for a guy like Jerry Jacobs. But I think he's important. And then once Emmanuel Mosley comes back, if Jerry Jacobs is playing well, that's a loaded room. That's a loaded room. So that gives me hope that they can sneak up into that top 15, and then who knows? Sky's the limit after that.
You just have this plethora of guys, and how are we? I mean, this is the Detroit Lions we're talking about here. I mean, you've got all of these defensive backs, you've got all of these defensive linemen that you just feel so confident in right now. I'm so excited for this season to get going. I wish I could just close my eyes, wake up, and have it be September 7th right now.
Are you more confident in those defensive backs or the wide receiver room while we're on the topic?
Honestly?
Seriously.
Defensive backs.
Isn't that a crazy concept?
As a whole.
Yeah.
As a whole. Now, you are a Amon-Ra St. Brown hamstring tweak, ankle tweak away from,
problems.
Being a little worried. I still think Jared Goff could dial up, Ben Johnson could dial up an offense. He can get you through a week or two, but not much more than that before teams figure it out. Guys, we are going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to transition to a little college football. Some news today broke regarding Jim Harbaugh and a self-imposed 3-game suspension. The man who broke that will join us next. Josh Henske will join us to talk about that when we come back. We'll go around the NFL. Tigers, very exciting day for the Tigers today as well. We'll talk about that. Hour number 2 coming up, but first a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not 1, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars. 1 for you, 1 for your wife, your girlfriend, your best bud, whoever you want to give it to. Lady Jane's, it's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey gang, I want to tell you about Outdoor Equipment Company. Your childhood may be over, but playtime is not. Outdoor Equipment Company is your source for outdoor power equipment, sales, service, parts. They carry the top brands such as Bad Boy, LS, Tractor, Steel, and more. They service the Great Lakes region with locations in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. For more information, visit OutdoorEquipCo.com. OutdoorEquipCo.com, your power equipment playground. Hour number 2 of the program, Ryan Ermanni, Matt Broder in for Braylon today, who is out playing in the Jalen Rose Invitational, Celebrity Invitational, playing a little golf. One day these golf tournaments will be over, and we will complaining that there's too much snow on the ground and it's too cold outside. But all is good. Braylon will be back tomorrow. Tom Mazaway is with us. JB and Parker expected to be joined momentarily by Josh Henske, who broke the news today, Michigan rivals, that Jim Harbaugh has informed those inside Schembechler Hall that Michigan is self-imposing a 3-game suspension for Harbaugh, effective immediately. So we will find out what led to if this is true, and it is expected apparently by the article that news will come out officially later today. I've got some thoughts on this.
What do you think?
Parker, just let me know when we have Josh, okay? Keep an eye out. I think this is the end of Ward Manuel.
Wow. Hot take.
I don't think that Jim Harbaugh wants to take the suspension. I think that Jim Harbaugh is kind of like Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. And I almost feel, and again, this is by no information I have whatsoever. This is my own opinion about it. It just doesn't feel like a Jim Harbaugh thing to do. Jim Harbaugh is not going to the Michigan Athletic Department. Hey, I kind of screwed up, and I think we should do this so we don't further jeopardize our standing moving forward. I think Jim Harbaugh would want to fight to the death. And I think Michigan told him no. That's what I think.
That's
just an opinion.
That's a really good thought, Ryan. I mean, I'm with Harbaugh's definitely not going to them and doing that. You think so? They had an agreed upon 4-game suspension that fell through.
It seems like that was the deal. It seems as though Michigan and Jim Harbaugh had, at least it was reported anyway,
right,
this 4-game agreement that Jim Harbaugh was going to sit out. The NCAA leaked somehow, some way that they withdrew that. And now the news today. And we do have Josh Henske, the publisher, owner of Michigan Rivals, who broke the story today. Josh, thanks so much for joining us. How you doing, my friend?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Great scoop here, Josh. First, what can you tell us? What do you know about this self-imposed 3-game ban?
Yeah, so basically today, Harbaugh told, sorry, I'm trying to figure out this camera room that's going up.
It's all good.
Yeah, so basically today we were told that Harbaugh told the team that he was suspended, self-imposed suspension from the university games. Other than that, details have been kind of sparse as where this goes next. Who's going to be the interim coach come game day, but as far as I know, the announcement is set to come down today. It's all official, and the university will go from there, and they're hoping that this will be kind of good enough for the NCAA to say, all right, we're good here. We don't need to take this on further.
Hey, Josh, do you envision this going down? And I could be totally wrong about this. And again, I just by the way, just knowing Jim Harbaugh a little bit, do you think he went and accepted this? Or do you think like Ward Manuel in Michigan came to him and said, hey, this is what we're doing. We want this to go by. This is what we're doing. He doesn't feel like a guy that would be like, hey, I kind of screwed up and let's just do this so we get past it.
Right. I think from what I was told, he's not overly upset with the news, and would have preferred to have a fight considering the initial leaks by the NCAA and the statement that they put out. But ultimately, he kind of understands why this has come to what it is, and I think pretty much everyone's in a position where they just want to get this over with. I think the NCAA too. I think they've been kind of caught with their pants down, so to speak, a little bit from Michigan and just the fact that no one really wanted to play ball. So I think, yeah, I mean, would he prefer to have no games? Of course, but I think we're kind of in a situation now where we're looking at this and saying, hey, let's just get it over with and kind of just let this play out, and hoping that it's enough for the NCAA and Michigan to kind of come to agreement that to not explore and press this any further.
It's a really interesting point too, Josh, because if you look at what Harbaugh has been saying about this football team on the field this year, it feels like if you just get rid of this suspension, make this go away this year, that this is a team that could handle getting through these first 3 weeks. And you don't worry about it next year with probably a first-year quarterback or a first-year starter anyway, regardless if that's a freshman or a sophomore or junior, whoever wins the job next year with JJ gone potentially. But this team, where they are on the field, could handle anything, especially early in the season.
Yeah, and part of that too, and I apologize in advance, I have a new puppy and he's barking.
God bless you, Josh. Don't apologize for anything.
Of course, right at 3:00 he decides he wants to pick his head up. But I think a big part of it too is that Harbaugh doesn't really want to let this leak into 2024 because he doesn't want to miss the Texas game. I mean, that's a huge game for not only this team but this Michigan in general. Hosting the team in Texas. And yeah, they're going to lose a bunch of parts after this year. Ideally, they don't want to let that leak forth, and a lot of that has to do with kind of that thought as well. But yeah, I mean, considering that this is Harbaugh's most talented team he's had in his tenure in Ann Arbor, couple that with the fact that they're playing 2 games where they should win pretty handedly, I don't think he's going to be that overly upset about missing those games. And come back in time for Big Ten play. So, there's a couple of big factors in there as well, but the 2024 one and being able to play Texas and not have that interfere with that preparation is hugely important too.
Hey, Josh, it's Maz. Good to see you again, my friend.
Hey,
thanks
Maz,
for coming on.
Of course.
Hey, I wanted to ask you about the original 4-game suspension that all of a sudden went south. I don't know why it went south, or who made that decision, or what have you. So that's part one of my question. What the hell happened to that?
Yeah, that one is a kind of a weird thing, as things with the NCAA usually are. That was the way it was framed to me originally, was that it was a negotiation, and that wasn't set in stone. I mean, there was talks that it could get knocked down to 2 games, could get knocked down to 1 game. And, there was a possibility of just Harbaugh not getting any games and just taking a fine and calling it a day. So there was kind of a lot of moving parts to that piece, too. And ultimately, things just kind of fell apart. And I think that's a little bit of Michigan not wanting to play ball, and NCAA kind of flex its muscles, or what little muscles it had left. So I think it was kind of, it's a mixture of, Michigan not wanting any kind of investigation. They brought in the Broder, Tom Mazaway, who's a major thorn in the NCAA side in terms of investigations and things like that. But there's a bunch of moving parts that eventually it's just two immovable forces knocking heads against each other and neither wanting to give up any ground. And ultimately it led to what we're seeing now, and the initial investigation or the negotiations falling apart, and then Michigan wanting to go the self-imposing route and kind of do things on their own terms. So yeah, it's just the whole thing was very weird from start to finish, and maybe it's not even finished. We'll see. I mean, considering the position that the NCAA is in right now, I find it hard to believe that they won't just accept these 3 games and call it good, and kind of continue on, especially with that statement that they released upon the initial news of the negotiations falling apart and stuff like that. I mean, the whole thing is a mess, and it's kind of really shown how far the NCAA has fallen in terms of their staying power and power to not necessarily control schools, but trying to keep things in check. Because I mean, which is the entirely different conversation with the transfer portal, NIL, and all that stuff. I mean, it's the Wild West out there, and the NCAA is proving that it doesn't really have much control anymore.
Josh, the chat is asking to see the dog. They want to know what kind of dog it is.
He's a golden retriever. He's currently I put him away because he likes to get into stuff, so I didn't want him to get into my back.
Very good. If you had golden retriever 5,000 to 1, you win in the chat. Hey, Josh, last question for you. Just all the focus for this Michigan team this year seems to be on this is the year that they could win the national championship. It feels like they're saying all the right things. Is this I'm not going to ask you national championship or bust, but is this is this as confident a team you have seen really at Michigan 20 plus years? I mean, they just seem so confident.
Yeah, and I think they have a right to be. They've earned their place and their seat on the table amongst the nation's elite, and now they just got to prove that they belong there. I think the next logical step for them. I mean, we've seen what they can do. In a conference level, beat Ohio State twice, win back-to-back Big Ten championships, make the college football playoffs, and now I think if you want that ultimate staying power, you're not satisfied with just having a seat at the table. You want to be at the head of the table like Georgia is right now, and I think that's kind of the big thing for them is that they're in a position where they can compete with Georgia. We'll see if they. I mean, obviously they got to get there first, right? I mean, they got to get over that semifinal hump, and in order to achieve their ultimate goal, which is what they can actually say they can do now. But as far as confidence goes, yeah, I mean, I think the talent is there from top to bottom, and and who knows, there might be some surprises that kind of supplement that depth, and they certainly have the pieces to compete on a national level, and I think that confidence that they have, it comes from the players themselves. It's not necessarily a coach thing. I think these players have done a really good job of building this culture, and a lot of these guys that Michigan is going to lose after this year. But I think this is probably the most confident and most talented team that Harbaugh's had in Ann Arbor, and in probably in about 20 years. I think the last team that really comes to mind is 2006 Michigan. That team. That's probably the most in terms of NFL talent. That's probably one of the deepest that Michigan's had in a long time. So. I mean, they're in a position. I mean, they've earned that right to be confident, and not confident, but not overly cocky. I think that's the most important thing. They realize, that it's a one day at a time thing. They're not automatically crowned champions just by showing up. They got to play in these games, and they got to beat some tough road teams like in Penn State, and obviously you got to beat Ohio State at home. So, I mean, the confidence is there. It's deserved, and now they have to prove that they can compete on a national level, and that's winning a semifinal.
Josh, great stuff, man. Thanks so much for joining us on short notice. Really appreciate it. And great scoop today, man. Great job. Great work.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
luck, Josh.
Good
man.
You got it. Follow Josh on Twitter at Josh Henske, also at Michigan Rivals. Josh and the team there do incredibly great work. Man, if you're a Michigan fan, got to get that subscription. Matt, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to go back to the NFL. Aaron Rodgers is going to start in the preseason. We'll go around the NFL, news and notes from the league. Really incredible stuff. But first, a message from Les Stanford, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. That's right, Buick GMC. Les Stanford expanded into Ferndale with those two brands, a trusted name for over 55 years. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know. You can go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And of course, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been for over 55 years on Michigan Avenue. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
New roads. Find them.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us. Hop on the YouTube chat. Slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Play, practice, and party at 5 Iron Golf, located inside of the Cambria Hotel. Downtown's newest sports bar has a 13-trackman simulator, certified instructors, and a full bar and restaurant. Mention promo code Woodward at checkout for 50% off your first visit, and visit 5irongolf.com to tee up some good times. But don't forget that Woodward Sports is still participating in the Thursday Night Golf League on the simulators with fans. And if you've seen myself, Flannel, or Jeff Swing from last Thursday, guaranteed you're probably going to beat us. But this league is hosted by 5 Iron Golf and co-presented by Mark White and Associates and Long Drink Alcoholic Beverages. So check them out. Once again, that is 5irongolf.com.
Hey, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Want to thank Josh Henske for joining us. Fun to talk about Michigan football. It is week 0 in college football. Notre Dame and Navy play. It's probably the only game you're going to get to watch that you'd want to watch. But, I mean, you can go to the bar, maybe sit outside, maybe just have a couple of people over with the windows open and watch Notre Dame football play Navy on NBC on Saturday, 2:30. Cannot wait. Even if you hate Notre Dame, and I hate Notre Dame,
I don't think they've ever opened with Navy.
Still going to be great to watch the Irish play.
Usually they play Navy mid-season, but we'll take it, I guess.
Absolutely. Matt Broder in for Braylon today. Braylon playing in Jalen Rose golf outing. He'll be back tomorrow. Maz, I did want to throw it to you for to go around the NFL, but worth pointing out, Aaron Rodgers is starting the game on Friday or this weekend. I don't know if they play Friday or Saturday. I am legit shocked that they're going to let this guy play in the preseason. I just don't know what the point is.
You got to get him loose. You got to get the rust off him. Look at Bridgewater last week. I mean, I know he didn't have an offensive lineman in front of him, but I'm sure the Jets and Robert Saleh will play the starters for a quarter, at least, just to get the rust off, see how they're doing. I don't even know who they're playing.
Carolina.
They're playing.
Very good.
No, Lions are playing.
Oh,
Carolina.
Lions. Oh,
I'm talking about the Jets.
The Jets. Yeah.
I don't know who they're playing, but the Jets probably. It's a home game because I don't think the Jets have been home yet. They had the Hall of Fame game, and then last week they played at. I forgot who they played. They buried somebody last week. They shut them out. As a matter of fact, I forgot the team though.
They've got the Giants coming up.
The G-Man. There you go. Everyone likes to watch that one at Giant Stadium at MetLife. I'm anxious to see it. I'm looking forward to it.
Are you surprised You said you're surprised he's playing.
Man, I am surprised he's playing. But then again, I was surprised that Andy Reid let Patrick Mahomes play.
A lot.
And Travis Kelce play. I'm surprised. Russell Wilson played again. I can understand it. Well, I guess, Russell Wilson's got a new coach. And it's the same, I guess, for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
New team, new coach. Get out there. It almost makes me think that maybe the Lions should play Jared Goff.
That was going to be my next question to you. Do you think they're going to sit their starters again?
Well, here's the deal. You've had the benefit of Jared Goff doesn't play the first 2 weeks of the preseason, fine. But you had the Giants come in. He did get his work in. You had Jacksonville come in. He gets his work in. So now you have from last Thursday when he practiced against the Jags, which was, let me open up my calendar. Last Thursday was the 24th, the 17th of August. A month. It's going to be a month before Jared Goff has seen another team. From the time he faced Jacksonville on that Thursday practice to the time he sees the Kansas City Chiefs on September 7th. That's exactly 4 weeks to the day.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
If he doesn't play against Carolina, maybe you do throw him out there.
He plays. I guarantee you he'll play a quarter.
I can imagine they don't play him at least a couple drives. I'm with Tom. I think it's going to be at least a quarter. There's something about even the veterans, this offense is back together again, but going through the rhythm of getting prepared for a game, your warm-ups before the game, getting in a rhythm with your receivers and the different players on offense and defense. I do believe they're going to play, if anything, just to feel that rhythm, feel the nerves before the game. They're going into Carolina where they got ran all over last year. So while they're not looking at that as their main goal for the game, to just stick it to the Carolina Panthers, I do think they're not going to go in there and just lay an egg or just kind of go through walkthroughs.
3 full weeks.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Okay. 3 full weeks. But still, 3 full weeks without playing anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe you do throw them out there. I think that's interesting. Let me get one more break in here to get on time, and then we'll continue around the NFL. And I want to get some baseball in today, too, with Broder. For those of you who don't know, Broder's expertise really is pitching in baseball. Former Michigan Wolverine, all lefty. Ooh, did you have a good pickoff move?
I did.
Oh,
I did.
man.
I was actually second in the Big Ten in pickoffs. I didn't throw many innings, but that was my bread and butter.
Is Rich Hill your hero?
I love Rich Hill.
Of course.
He's still pitching.
Still going, baby.
He's pitching well, too.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little baseball with Broder coming up, too.
Let's go.
But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. Your local security experts have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, tells the bad guys one thing. Whether you are at home or on the road, their 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us. Hop on the YouTube chat. Slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, shit. Go in.
Watch episodes at WoodwardSports.com.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Matt Broder, Tom Mazaway here. Maz, let's go around the NFL.
You got it, my man. Remember a couple weeks ago, Saquon Barkley made that decision to play ball and sign a contract with the Giants? You remember that running back contingent that was going to stick together and try to screw the NFL owners for not paying him? Well, Josh Jacobs was part of that. Josh Jacobs is going back to camp. He is ending his holdout with the Raiders.
You know why? $10 million's better than no million.
Yep.
That's really what it comes down to. $10, $11 million a year is better than no $1 million a year. And I think the Raiders, they could be a surprise. I've said this about every team in the NFL.
I know you have.
I've said this about the Broncos and the Browns, the Rams, and now I'm putting the Raiders in the mix here. I think the Las Vegas Raiders are going to compete for a playoff berth. I think Vegas is going to be
even with numbnuts,
okay.
Josh McDaniels as their head coach.
Yes.
All Jimmy Garoppolo does is win.
I know.
He does.
You say what you want about him, but all he does is win. I don't have his record pulled. I could find his record, but it's staggering. When he plays, his team wins.
Kyle Shanahan said if they had him last year, it would have been a different story.
Without a doubt.
Speaking of Kyle Shanahan, you want to know another bold take?
Oh, boy.
I'll just do it for you right now. I won't even
Bring it, Ryan.
I won't even make you wait for it.
Oh, God.
The San Francisco 49ers will not win the NFC West.
Okay.
I don't think – now, I'm not saying they won't make the playoffs. I'm just saying they won't win the NFC West. That's my bold take today.
So the Seahawks or Rams will win.
I'm going Seahawks. They don't have a quarterback. And I don't think Brock Purdy had a nice 6-7 games.
Brock Purdy's supposedly kicking on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, supposedly.
He looked good in his preseason game.
Supposedly.
This is what, 7 months after?
It's an amazing comeback.
A UCL injury. Was it Tommy John?
Yeah.
He had Tommy John for a quarterback. I know you can come back a little quicker, but for what the 49ers do, those short passes are what are affected most by your elbow. So to see him out there full speed, it's impressive.
You're talking to a man with elbow problems.
I mean,
there you go.
Clearly. I don't know if I have any basis to back it up other than I just don't believe in Brock Purdy.
You know, I'm forgetting.
I don't
who's
believe
the
in Brock
fourth team in the West? I'm forgetting.
The Rams, the Cardinals.
The Cardinals, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Hey,
They're
Broder.
so bad that I forgot about them.
You got nothing to worry about.
No,
there.
I know that.
I don't think the Rams are going to be anything either.
Well, Ryan likes them.
Are you that high in the Seahawks?
Somebody's got to win that division. I think that Seattle's.
Niners.
I think Seattle's going to be. I think Seattle's going to definitely be a playoff team this year.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And I think they've got a pretty good shot to win the division. I think that Matt Stafford is, if he's healthy, I think the Rams are going to fight for a playoff spot.
$50 million he got.
Rams are going to fight for a playoff spot. We'll see.
All right.
Broder, to answer your question about Jimmy G's record, it is 53-21 with 74 games played.
53-21.
That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good.
W's, lots of them.
Name for me.
Yeah.
You can't name Tom Brady. Just name for me a quarterback that's taken in the 4th round or later that's had any success in the NFL. Or excuse me, taken in the 5th round or later. How about that? Because obviously you can go Kirk Cousins and you can go Dak Prescott. 2 4th round picks. But just name the quarterback taken in the 5th round or later that has had any sustained period of success in the last 25 years.
I'd have to really look at it.
No, nobody.
I can't pull one out of fresh air.
I mean, I just can't.
Thin air either.
Just can't.
How about Jalen Hurts? You like him?
2nd round pick.
I know, but do you like him?
Love him.
Sports Illustrated likes him as well. They have made him the cover boy for their NFL preview episode. Look at that issue. So he's on Sports Illustrated. If you still get Sports Illustrated,
do they still have the magazine?
It's about this
get them every
thin.
month.
It's about this thick.
Really?
Oh yeah.
It's this thick. You see how these papers are? That's
Yeah.
how thick Sports Illustrated
Man, when I was a
is.
kid,
That's all I cared about.
oh God, getting
And
that
Playboy.
getting that Sports Illustrated and seeing who was on the cover was, I mean, you waited to go to the newsstands to get Sports Illustrated.
bet.
We didn't get it to our home because it cost too much money, like to have the Sports Illustrated subscription.
I had it since I was 9 years old, delivered to my house
Oh,
until
God.
last year. I
Really?
finally gave it up. Last year.
And does that include Sports Illustrated for kids? Does that
No,
come?
it doesn't include
come
that.
with.
That's separate.
Gotcha.
That's it.
Because Victor Wembanyama's first rookie card was in a Sports Illustrated for kids. You know those perforated
Really?
cards of all
Wow.
the different athletes?
Are you kidding?
Oh no, it's not his official rookie card. That
So is that card worth something?
It depends. Not yet.
Oh.
People are they're just coming. People are getting them graded by the different grading companies.
Right.
They're not going to be the most valuable ones, but it will be his first one out.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool.
A couple of people are throwing Kurt Warner in my face.
There you go.
There you go, Tony Romo.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Undrafted.
There you go.
Bill Parcells picked him out.
My point is that it's very rare. It's very rare that you got a guy like that. He had a nice 6-7 game stretch last year. Let's see if he can do it again.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, the Dallas Cowboys played. I think they played Seattle last weekend.
Cooper Rush was also 4-0.
Brandon Cooks, wide receiver now for Dallas, is a licensed pilot.
Crazy.
So he put Micah Parsons and I forgot who else was in that. Who's one of the linebackers? Anyway, look, this is how they got to the game.
It's a hard no for me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Since Buddy Holly, I just can't get in a private plane. I'm sorry. I just cannot.
I'm not messing with a helicopter or airplane, any of that anymore. It get too much bad memories.
I can't believe the Cowboys would allow that, to be honest with you.
Agreed.
Right?
I just look. God bless you. That's a hard no for me, but I'm
afraid of heights.
Afraid of heights too.
Yeah.
A couple of people are throwing Tyler Huntley out there.
Oh, Tyler Huntley, yeah.
Name for me the amount of
Who
who does he start for?
How many playoff games did he win?
Who does he
He
start
almost
for?
won last year.
No one.
No.
Almost.
How many teams are there in the league?
32.
And who does he start for?
No.
Nobody.
Okay.
He did play the playoff game because Lamar Jackson was hurt.
Okay.
I do like him.
Okay. I like him too.
I like him.
Okay.
How about Mark Brunell? A Detroit Lion. Mark Brunell.
How
He's like
late was he?
1995 though.
How late was he drafted?
93, round 5, pick 118.
Great pick.
Yeah.
But I said
yeah.
25 years. We
Tom
can't go back
Coughlin.
to
Super Bowl champion.
Tom Coughlin picked that guy out.
Did he really?
Yeah, well, he was the head coach of the Jags back then.
They were fun. They were fun.
Okay, you know Roquan Smith?
Who?
Roquan Smith.
Yes. I just wanted to hear you said you know Roquan Smith.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to.
Roquan Smith changed his number last year. He went to Baltimore, changed his number to 0.
Sure.
So he's like, hey, all the players, all the people
I love this.
that bought my other jersey. What number was his other jersey?
18.
You know what? If you bought an 18, next week I'm going to have a jersey swap. You come here to this spot, and I'm going to give you a 0 jersey, and I'm going to take the 18 and I'm going to donate it.
That's awesome.
So he is. How about that?
If it's an equivalent equivalent jersey,
Yeah.
like if it's a pro NFL, like
Oh, stop doing that.
no, if that's a serious jersey, I don't want to see no logos on that Ravens jersey number 0 that you're giving me.
No Kroger.
I don't want to see a Kroger logo on 18.
It's a replica jersey.
Right. Yeah.
But that's pretty cool.
You know the NBA already
think
does
so?
this, right?
The NBA does that?
Yeah, they have a jersey exchange. So if you purchase a jersey and that player either changes numbers or changes team, they will exchange
Not
it
all
for
of them, JB.
It's called jersey insurance.
jersey
Yeah,
insurance.
not all of them, and you pay extra for that, by the way.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Not
But
really.
but not in this
that
situation.
Okay.
Roquan's just doing this on his own.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
covering the expenses.
Right.
I think that's awesome. There's so many fans. How much money are these jerseys now? 125, 140 bucks. Yeah,
At least.
that's a lot of money for fans.
A lot
Pretty
of money
cool
for anybody.
A lot of for anybody. Pretty cool.
Unless you're Drew Lane shelling out $5K for Goose Gossage.
And Gibby.
And Gibby.
He got 2 for 1.
Oh, good.
But he should have gotten Shohei for
Oh,
4,800.
God. So great.
That was a steal.
It's unbelievable.
You want me to keep going?
I got to take a break.
Okay, good.
But I want to hear about what Big Boy's got going on,
Oh,
Maz.
yeah. Big Boy. You know Big Boy. Here he is. Right here. If you get to your local Big Boy, it is Strawberry Fest, of course. Start your day off with a great breakfast. The strawberry hotcakes, the mouth-watering red velvet waffles. That's gets your day started. How about a little brunch? If you're not in the mood for breakfast, the strawberry bacon chicken wrap or the summer splash salad and those desserts. That's why you go to Big Boy. The classic strawberry pie, the deep-fried vanilla Oreo, or the strawberry hot fudge cake can all be yours at your local Big Boy.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Good, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At the Academy of Warren, they have a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field that can also be used for 7-on-7 football. K-8 that features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K-8 athletics. We, Ermanni and Edwards, will be broadcasting from their carnival on August 24th, which is this Thursday. Come meet the staff and explore your child's new school. The Academy of Warren is now accepting new enrollment. Go to academyofwarren.net. That website again, academyofwarren.net.
Hey, Peter.
This guy.
Hey guys, great night to go to the ballpark.
Yes.
When you look at the schedule, when the schedule comes out every year, you see what are some of those teams coming in this year, and which road trips can you take. I was actually disappointed the Cubs were coming here and not Tigers going to Wrigley, because I would have loved to have gone to Wrigley this year. But a great series starting tonight, Tom Mazaway. The Detroit Tigers and the Chicago Cubs, who are right now hold one of the wild card spots. What a turnaround for the Cubs this year.
Good for them, man.
They are in the third and final wild card spot in the NL.
Well, the Tigers get their shot. They already took care of Cleveland. That's right. They beat the Tribe this weekend, the Guardians. Finally, they beat them in a season series. It's been a long time before you could say the Detroit Tigers have beaten the Cleveland Guardians / Indians in a season series. Congrats to them. Torkelson with number 22. He continues to mash. How about Kerry Carpenter, number 18 for Kerry Carpenter. And if the Tigers, right now, the Tigers have a better chance of making the playoffs than the Yankees and the Angels. And we all know what their payrolls are. Now, I'm not saying they're going to make it, but they have a better chance at making it than those two teams right now. And congrats to the Tigers for winning 3 out of 4. Easily should have swept. They just pissed that game away on Friday night.
Dang.
Jose Cisneros was terrible in that game. I don't know why they left him in there, but they did nonetheless. And, of course, they threw a game away against the Twins before that. They really could be so much closer.
I know.
They've really done a hell of a job with this. What have I called these guys? The Ragtag Tigers. But I've told you, I was interested in them. I've been to a ton of games this year, and I'm going to go see the Cubbies. I was going to go tonight, but something came up. I'll try to go tomorrow. Or I might go see Barry Manilow. I'm not sure yet. One or the other.
You know what I did yesterday on a beautiful, hot summer day? I watched the Tigers.
Attaboy.
They're a fun team to watch. I mean, I really enjoy these young guys. You know, Spencer Torkelson, Kerry Carpenter, and Riley Green, to me, are 3 of the best things that the Tigers have had going for them in a long time.
Yep, since the old
Even
team.
a guy like Matt Vealing. What's Matt Vealing, 26 years old? You know,
ball player.
You know, I mean, Javier Baez. What did I tell you about Javier Baez?
You hit it on the head on Friday. When you're playing good and in the thick of things, he'll play better.
He's a momentum
He's a Showtime type of guy.
He's a momentum guy.
Yes.
If you're doing good things, he's going to do good things. If you're doing bad things, if you're losing games, he's going to play losing baseball. It's just the way it is. And that's fine. I'll take that. Fine.
How about the Tigers 25-15 against their own division?
I said it the other day. I
It's
said
phenomenal.
if they I tweeted it out last week, Matt, if they had that unbalanced schedule, like there's
18 games against each team.
Yep, there's no telling where this team would be. No. They wouldn't be what I got the standings up right now. They wouldn't be. I got to go expanded here. They what are they? 5 and
they about 7.5 back.
Gee, well the AL East has killed them. 5-20. They are 15 games under 500 against the AL East.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the AL East have got all winning team. Well, except the Yankees, they had all winning records most of the year, and the Tigers just couldn't beat them. A lot of teams couldn't beat the AL East. I mean, that's where the money is.
But the Tigers are 10 games over 500 ultimately overall. They're 15 games under 500 against the AL East.
How about that? And the Cubs are here tonight. It's the first of 10 games at home for them. 10 games at home. Here's your chance. We've said it again. Here's another chance for you to bury the Tigers or put them up and say, hey, you guys got a shot to try to win this freaking division. And how great would that be? And guess who comes up tonight? None other than Parker Meadows.
Bro, it's me.
Parker Meadows coming up from AAA Toledo. Not Austin Meadows, but his younger brother, Parker Meadows.
19 home runs, 19 stolen bases. AAA.
Welcome to the show.
No doubt, man. Every time, like you said, though, Maz, every time you want to bury the Tigers, they are a 7-3 stretch away, 7 out of 10 win stretch from getting, 4 games back.
Win 5 straight.
Can you do that, please? Can you imagine if you could just win 5 games in a row?
I can't stop thinking back to that Oakland Athletics series.
Oh, God.
A couple of those Royals series where we were right there within the cusp of first place, and we gave it to them. And it's exciting to see Parker Meadows come up. This is one of those guys people have been clamoring for all year, and to see him come up at this time, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun night at the ballpark tonight. It's a little ironic that this past weekend all the left-handed outfield bats were playing well for the Tigers, and now we're calling up Parker Meadows. But I think you're going to see some time at second base. He's going to fill in for Nick Maton, fill in for Riley Green in center field when he's the designated hitter. Like you said, Ryan, this is one of those teams that's just fun to watch. They're a bunch of gamers, a bunch of guys out there playing hard, and you never know what can happen with a team like that down the stretch. You never know.
Hey, it's good. Hey, they kept our attention, and we're August 21st. They've kept our attention. We didn't think they would, but they did.
Do the Cubs get to face Skubal or Eduardo this weekend, or are they just
I don't
out?
think so. No, Eduardo just pitched.
Yeah.
Skubal's pitching Wednesday.
There you go.
Oh.
But Eduardo pitched yesterday.
Faedo, Olsen, and Skubal. You'll get to see former Tiger Drew Smiley tomorrow pitch for the Cubs.
He's been up and down, but I always liked Smiley.
Yep.
He was part of that David Price deal, if you remember, way back when.
Tigers are 18-17 in the second half this year. That 9-game losing streak in the first half, at Chicago, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Arizona. I mean, just killed them.
Hey, the one down thing here, and I love this guy, Eric Haas, designated for assignment over the weekend. I love this guy. You talk about a gamer. I remember when they brought him in, it was 2 years ago, they brought him in. I remember his mother had to drive him from Toledo to Comerica Park to get to the game. And you know what? He's given us a lot of good stuff. I wish they would keep him. I understand how things go. He's been struggling. I'm going to miss Eric Haas. I liked him. I really did.
You root for a guy like that, right? A local guy, Dearborn Divine Child. Grew up a Tigers fan. You root for a guy like that. I hate to see it. You realize quickly this is an absolute business.
You bet.
And if you don't produce, you're out.
Well, I hope no one takes him and he gets to come back and go play AAA again and work his way back.
There you go. Parker Meadows, by the way, Jennifer Hammond tweeted this out. Parker Meadows is playing center field tonight. He said he was trying to reach his parents last night when he got the call up, but there was spotty cell service, so they found out on Twitter.
On X, you mean?
On X.
Yeah.
Parker Meadows, another Detroit kid out of U of D Jesuit.
Is he?
I believe so. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Unless my information's wrong, I'm pretty confident.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I love it.
I love it too.
Go Tigers.
Is that all you got, Maz?
For the Tigers?
Yes.
That's all I got.
The Yankees suck too.
They do.
They're terrible.
That suck too.
Absolutely. Guys, we'll take a break. We'll wrap it up next. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. They had Lloyd Carr there yesterday.
Oh, my.
Private event, Lloyd Carr there.
Does they have the Lloyd Carr Tunnel?
Raising money for the Chad Tuff Foundation yesterday. Or, excuse me, what's today? On Saturday, they had Lloyd Carr there. Check out their social media pages, Fairway Packing Company, for some of those great photos with the great Coach Lloyd Carr.
I've just been told the Guardians got Haas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, good. Only 2.5 hours away from home then.
Damn.
Good for him. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Grab and go steaks. Order online, fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Cut, sourced, aged, packed to perfection.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
ESPN announced, ESPN's got a couple of things going on. One, Apple is going to buy them. It's going to happen, right? Tim Cook, Apple, reportedly has plans to buy ESPN, and then they get the rights to everything. Wow. NBA, NFL.
I don't know if they have enough money.
I think they're doing okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're doing okay. They would get ESPN's 2 Super Bowls as well as part of this TV deal.
Jeez.
So whether you like it or not, streaming is coming to sports. Wow. They will buy ESPN when it's all said and done.
You think ESPN's going to be streamed?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, part of it. Yeah.
I know it's streamed now. You can watch ESPN online, but you don't think
Apple
it's going to
TV?
go off. It's not going to go off the regular
No, it's not going to go
dial.
off cable.
Okay, that's all I care
It's not going to go off cable, but they
Oh.
will absolutely throw them on Apple TV.
It'll just be another option.
Yeah,
just
right.
you can find ESPN anywhere now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll be on Netflix eventually.
SVP has been named host of Monday Night Countdown. That was Susie Colbert had that, right?
Yeah. I think Susie had. Yeah, she was on the field. She was the leader on that. I loved her in that role, and I loved Steve Young gone. I love Booger McFarland. He's not fired, but
where's Booger?
I love Booger.
How is Booger not part of
I'll
Monday
take
Night
Booger
Countdown?
over Ryan Clark, but you know what? Ryan Clark and SVP, they are buddies. I mean, he's on with SVP all the time, so you know he was coming up. Now RG3, I know he's the up and coming guy. I think he's just too much. He's just too much for me. I like him. He's too much for me. Marcus Spears, I'll take Booger over both those guys. And then you got the 2 throw-ins. And Michelle, what's her name? Joe Buck's wife.
So Joe Buck's wife is
and
part
Adam
of
Schefter, of course.
Monday Night Countdown. And Adam Schefter. Look, the thing about and I'm all for it seems like it's a bad look. Like if you want to work at ESPN, go cover something else maybe.
Right.
Like go cover. Can't you do Sunday Countdown? You know what I mean? Am I too harsh there?
I don't think so, but
it just looks. Nobody's ever heard of her in your life.
Well, I did.
Oh, you did?
I have, yeah.
Oh.
She's been around.
Oh, she's
been on different networks. I think she was on Fox when Joe was there as well.
But not on Joe's broadcast, is what I'm saying.
Probably not.
Not on Joe's broadcast. That's kind of what. I don't care that she works at ESPN.
Alex Smith is. I think Alex Smith is getting better.
Yeah.
He's going to be part of it. And who else is there next to Alex Smith?
Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald? Yeah, he's okay. But again, I'm a Booger McFarland fan. I'm disappointed that he's not going to be part of this. Maybe he'll be more.
I do like Marcus Spears a lot.
Maybe he'll be more part of the Sunday countdown. You know, when it comes down to it, I don't lock in to watch this. I'm ready for the game.
Yeah.
Put the damn game on and let me watch the game.
That's right, because the pregame starts 6 o'clock with SportsCenter.
And sometimes I'll have it on. It is entertaining.
Right.
And I like ESPN, what they do.
Is Scott Van Pelt still going to do
Where's Randy Moss? Does Randy Moss down there?
That's right. He got
I
mossed.
think he was one of the people that were released or let go.
From ESPN entirely?
I think
I don't think so. I don't think he's been canned. But he's got mossed, it looks like. I bet you'll see him on Sunday.
Huh. Will Scott Van Pelt still be
He'll
doing
work
late night?
only on Sundays.
Randy Moss will?
Oh, yeah.
Who knows?
I guess he's.
I guess that's the Laura Rutledge program.
Either way, he's on Sundays. Yeah. Either way, it's fine. What the hell do we care? Just put the damn game on.
I did like the Monday night when he was on. You know, who got mossed.
You got mossed.
That was kind of cool.
Remember when it was like you got jacked up?
That
and
was
they
one of my
couldn't do that
favorites.
anymore?
That was one of the first to go once they
You
started.
can't do jacked up?
No, they could. That's why they did You Got Mossed.
Oh.
Because you couldn't do You Got Jacked Up because they don't want the violence in the game.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want that kind of violence.
Yeah, no violence.
No violence.
Yeah.
No excitement.
You're right.
Right?
NFL, man.
Good
I
call.
love it. What a league. What a great league. Well, Maz, this has been really great. Does that one other Tigers news, but does the Little League game do anything for you?
The Little League World Series, the Little League Classic.
Yeah.
It's when the two major league teams play during the Little League World Series. Next year, it's the Yankees and the Tigers from Williamsport.
It's a Tigers home game too, by the way. Which
So
sucks.
we lose a home game here.
With the Yankees.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yankees are coming here at the end of the month, by the way.
And they lost 8 in a row, too,
Yeah.
for the first time
It ain't
since
the Yankees anymore, it's just
1995.
the Yankees.
But I hate to lose a home game over that.
I get it.
You
It's
know?
one game out of 80 plus.
But it's one game out of 3.
Right.
And the
You
Tigers
know?
roster is as close to the Little League roster
Right.
as any team in the league.
There you
so
go.
yeah,
It's a good fit.
yeah,
It's a good fit.
I
Very
think
good.
I think it's cool that they're doing it. Did you see Bryce Harper and there are a couple of the Nationals at the game? It was yesterday
Yeah,
or the night
I saw
before.
that, yeah.
The kids love it. I mean,
course they
that's
do.
an all-time moment for them.
It's awesome.
Did they play that game yesterday? I missed
Yeah, I
it.
played it last
Who
night.
played? Phillies and who? You know?
Cardinals, maybe?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember who
Phillies
played.
and Nationals? Was it the
Phillies
Nationals?
and Nationals.
Yeah.
Phillies and Nationals.
So that was the classic
Yeah.
game. Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Yep. Very good, gang. Matt Broder, any final words?
Nope. Thank you so much for having me. This was
Dynamite
great.
drop in.
Dynamite
drop in. Great stuff. Matt, check out Matt covers the Lions for us, woodwardsports.com. Braylon will be back tomorrow. JB, you the man. Parker, you the man.
the man.
I was going to say, Parker, you're okay. Just kidding. Just giving you a hard time.
Big day for Parkers.
Well, I did want to say the same thing as JB.
I'm okay.
So I got
You didn't want to shortchange him.
Well, yeah, JB, you're the man. Parker, you rock too. How about that? That's what I should have said.
Better than okay.
That's what I should have said. Parker, you rock too.
Hey, save your papers, the Dave Burkett 53-man roster. We'll let Braylon take a look at this tomorrow.
Okay, thanks for telling me during the show.
You're
You
welcome.
can tell me.
I didn't
tell
want
me
you to
after
waste-
the show.
I didn't want you to throw the paper
Tell me
out.
after the show.
I know, I didn't want you to
I don't
waste
How
the
about the papers? The papers.
Keep the papers.
Maz, you're okay with me. Love everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Heavyweights coming up next.
See ya.